Hi, Chris Mick here. There's one thing that my students always asked. I want to get into sound synthesis. What can I do? What should I buy to get into it? We work with Eurorack, and you know the price of Eurorack is really expensive and complicated, but it's very good to understand the basics. But you can do that with software like from Softtube, and there are some others, even freeware out there. But if you want to have hardware, what to do? So I always recommended this little beast here, and this is a Arturia Microbrute, because most of the parameters a synth needs and to understand it are in there. You got these different waveforms, and you got, of course, the envelopes that can be on the amp or in the filters, and you got an LFO, and you got glide, and you even got a little sequencer in here, and some specialities of Arturia to get around this. It's only one oscillator to make it a little bit more interesting, that you can add a sub or a fifth and more overtones here. Some sort of wave shaping via the metalizer, and this typical brute factor, you know, all this Arturia Microbrute and brute, and envelope or mount keyboard tracking. Most of the things you need to understand are in here, and this thing costed about 250. I'm not sure, 280, maybe even cheaper. And it's totally analog, yes, but it's also got the opportunity via USB to use it at a keyboard and to program it via software from USB, especially also this sequencer section here. It's really a great little synth, and I'm going to show you that compared to this monster here. This is the Moog Voyager, one of the last they did, and it's I believe it's totally handmade, and it's got this typical Moog sound, and it's really a monster. Compare those two, yes, but this is on the used market. They don't build it anymore. Even this is not built anymore, I said in the end. This is about 3,500 or 4,000 euros, maybe even more expensive in the near future. So let's compare both. It's really weird because everybody would say, this guy must be mad, 250 against 4,000 euros. But I was really amazed. Up to a certain point, kind of similar. But then you have the differences with the three oscillators, of course, and the filter of Moog is really uncomparable. But at first sight, this is really a nice synthesizer you can use. And if you want to have a nice keyboard, okay, you attach it via a MIDI or USB from your DAW and use it like that, because this little things here, yeah, you can put it in your backpack, and this you can't put in your backpack. So let's check it, and we're gonna have some fun. It's really fun. I improvised this whole thing here. There's much more to say about it, but let's have a short first look that you can make up your mind. Do I need this, or is this better for me when I get into sound synthesis or something like this, like the new Arturia ones, or even some others, or even this Korg series? Well, you don't have to spend that much money. This is more for the pros here. Okay, here we go. I got a sine wave on the Arturia and a sine wave on the Voyager, and this is how it sounds. Not much energy in that one. But this, to me, sounds kind of the same. Well, it's a sine wave, there's nothing special. So let's go to another wave. Let's take a sawtooth. I take the sawtooth in here and go into the sawtooth here. Much more energy. But in a way, I can get there while using the cutoff. In this case, because there's more harmonics in this wave, I can work with the cutoff. And even here, it's a little bit more presence. Oh, more brilliance. It's more brilliance in that one. So this is sort of kind of the same. both. Okay, let's take the next one. Pulse wave. Typical, yes? Here. The thing with the Voyager is you have to be very precise with the potentiometer here. Even the sawtooth is not where above the 4 here, and the pulse wave is not there. So it's not easy to make them match, yes? Somewhere in there, yes? Yeah. Okay, the major difference of both is, of course, there's only one oscillator here, and they get around that by that you can, one oscillator is able to produce 3 waveforms. You can put in some overtones, meaning harmonics. You can add a sub or a fifth, and they have this typical Arturia thing, metalizer and pulse width. Okay, what about the LFO? Same procedure, you put in an LFO here and put in the amount here. And kind of the same here. But it's not that extreme, yes? What about that? It's going even above the highest rate of this one. Sorry, it's not that $4,500 difference I hear. Going to the max. Get this sort of FM stuff. What about here? So this is more aggressive. In a way, this is more aggressive. Get out of this LFO thing, and let's have a look about some sounds that this one can do, this one cannot do. If I put in, like, say, our waveforms here, put in the envelope amount, put in this overtone thing, ultrasaw, pulse width, let's do that, yes? Let me try that here. I mean, this is, I put in a second oscillator. And say sync. This is much more aggressive. I don't know how I should manage it. Let's put in some FM. Well, this is more aggressive, this sounds more modern, but what is the advantage of this? And I believe it's still, if you don't do the sync, you don't do the FM, you put in the oscillator 3 and And we have noise. I don't have noise in here. Meaning the three oscillators of course make a difference, but it's amazing what they do with one oscillator here. And of course you can do many more modulation because you have different buses and destinations than here. But what they packed in here is really amazing. Listen to this. If I go to the pulse width and to the mod, and what I'm missing in the Voyager is this sequencer section here. If I do some recording, I can immediately play it, yes? While it's playing, I can do... Yes. The filter is much better, of course. This is the Moog's ladder filter. Maybe this is a central thing with the Moog that's different from this one. This filter is really great. And all in all, I would, if I compare them, this is sort of a techno machine for me, yes? At a TR8 or something like a MPC-1, and you have this. Everything is much, well, it's experimental, but it's much softer to me. It sounds softer and not really that aggressive. We can get there a little bit. So put on the release a little bit. It's more aggressive, yes. Okay, this is not really, you not really can compare it, but the point is, you know how much this is, how much it costs. It's a wonderful instrument. I made another video on this. This is a performance instrument for me. I use on stage for, let's say, classical pop, rock, or whatever music where I do some soloing. But as it comes to modern stuff, maybe for the basses, of course, the bass here is unbelievable, and the three oscillator, and you can do a lot. I can get more into that. Also that you can see my other video. But immediately to come to something that's aggressive, this stuff here is really, really great, yes. very snappy, and it's analog. And it's got USB, and you can put something external in. It's got the mod matrix, CV out, CV in, well, the same as the Voyager here, and make up your mind. But this is out of stock. It's so sad they don't build it anymore. The Microbrute, especially this red one you can see inside here, is out of stock. Maybe you can use one of the newer ones they did instead of this, but I think this is really great for students or for somebody who wants to get into synthesis and use this POTIS here and tries to understand. Well, it's a little bit special with Arturia, with the subfills and the metalizer. They try to get around this missing, the two other oscillators and the missing noise. But it is really a great opportunity for cheap money. If you get it somewhere cheap, do that. If you want to have a real instrument for the stage, then it's the Moog, yes. You didn't listen to the classical Moog sounds yet here, but believe me, they are in here, and here we go. And here comes the Moog, yes. This I cannot do with that, yes? If you want this sort of sound, that will do. Then I'm on this side. This is uncomparable. This is typical Moog, and this is 21st century. Thank you. Hope you had some fun.